Bramborough back with some Grand Tactician Civil War Union Campaign in version 1.07. Okay, theater situations here toward the end of November 1861 are pretty much the same that they have been for the last few episodes because it's wintertime. Missouri, pretty quiet. Tennessee has gotten quiet. No one has come back to molest Grant at Nashville since the last battle there. Cumberland Corps is taking care of their supply depots so they can have another crack at these forts. And I'm going to put it right about, well, I'm going to put it right about here, which is where, right about where the Cumberland Corps is headed. I want to get it close enough to the fort so that when he gets over to Fort Donelson, he'll still be within range of it. Not much happening with McClellan's army in West Virginia. I was kind of thinking about maybe moving him over here, maybe doing a fort just to kind of block off West Virginia. But, yeah, I don't think so. And finally, here in Virginia, the latest battle has ended, and Beauregard and whoever's commanding the Hampton Division should be retreating shortly. In addition to that, we still have the siege going on here between the two Shenandoah armies, and that siege is going in our favor, increasingly so, right? Some of the Confederate brigades are starting to break. Interestingly, I noticed after the last episode, we had this battle over here. It was on the Manassas map. That was initiated by the Hampton Division. The Army of the Potomac was in that battle. They reinforced from way over here behind the Army of the Shenandoah. I think that's interesting. And that's about the long and short of it. Still got about 2 weeks left on our next policy, which is Military 2. I think I'm going to go for the Militia Act 4, the final Militia Act after that. And let's see, do we have any more projects? I see cast artillery, rebore muskets. Nope, none of those are a big target right now. Okay, let's go ahead and get time rolling. And like I've said for the last couple episodes, or at least the last one, I don't know if a battle's going to occur in this episode or not. As always, that's kind of up to Johnny Rep. It is late November, but I don't think I showed the last intel report from November 1st. They're working on Diplomacy 1. As of November 1st, they were working on Diplomacy 1, and I think we saw that they completed that. They did complete Confederate rifles. That's semi-concerning because the Fayetteville and Richmond rifles are pretty good. At very least, they're longer ranged than Springfield's are. Now, just because they have the project doesn't mean that the CSA is going to, the AI is going to effectively procure a lot of them and get them out to the troops efficiently. That's a different, that's a different cat they got to skin. But if they do get a lot of Fayettevilles and Richmonds into the hands of the troops, then yeah, that's not great for us. Other than I wouldn't mind capturing a few. Okay, they're still at 30%. I think that's been pretty static for the campaign so far. It says they only recruited 250 men in October, and some ships and some more squadrons. These may have been some of the squadrons we saw attacking around Charleston. Or maybe these were No, yeah, that was during November. So this recruitment, these fleets were put together before that series of attacks off of Charleston. And Intel says that the enemy is carrying out offensive operations. No kidding. Indeed they are. We'll see what the December 1st report says. Okay. This battle did last 3 days, so it'll be probably November 26th before these armies actually retreat. Yeah. These cross swords, and these cross swords over here are because of the battle. These two cross swords are because of the siege. Two separate things going on here. Okay, Isaac Stevens has gotten to here. Let's go ahead and build a supply depot. Now, once these forts are taken and we move out of the area, I intend to get rid of that supply depot. Army of the Northwest has come further east. They were sitting over here. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. He was building this, almost completed it, and then walked off just as it was beginning to complete. Because these completion percentages are decreasing. Oh, we just had another naval battle. Biloxi. Okay, green readiness still. And it looks like we captured a couple little steamers here. Equator and Forest. May have to rename Forest. And also it looks like that fleet, Biloxi Bay Squadron, disintegrates. Okay. Let's go see if there's anything moving up here. Nope. They did complete their supply depot here. If it wasn't wintertime, I'd kind of feel like just edging forward a little bit just to get sight and see how many men are in that army. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. He is in, Lion is in scouting mode. Just come up here right about where the telegraph is to see what's going on. Okay, how's our siege going? It's going all right. Continuing to improve in our favor. I could convert this to a tactical battle with the assault option. We have a pretty large troop count superiority. But with the trend of the siege, I don't particularly see a need to do that. Is there anything happening over by Grant's army? It doesn't appear so. Army of the Mississippi, last known location here, just north of Decatur. But that is about 2 weeks old, 3 weeks old. I like the idea of the armored gunboats. If this were a game, I hope. Let me restate that a different way. I think. Time's paused. I'm sorry. I hope that the game gets to a state with regard to naval activity that taking policies or projects like armored gunboats and ironclads and stuff are at very least advantageous and worthwhile, if not just absolutely necessary. The way it is right now, I just don't think it is. Okay, that's a historical flavor newspaper headline. Trent affair resolved. I believe Jubal Early will be retreating shortly. What's that Army of the Northwest doing? Yeah, it's just kind of hanging out here. Our Gatling unit here. 37 men, 3 guns. They picked up another star of experience in that last battle. I am going to furlough them. And let's see how many men and guns they come back with. It came up in the comments about the number of guns. This is an artillery unit pre-artillery reform, so the full size of this unit is 90 men with 6 guns. And as the unit takes casualties and then gets replenished or furloughed or more men added in, I could take one of these batteries down here and just fold it in and make this a 6-gun unit, like just immediately. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say I'm never going to do that, because I probably will. But it's winter, and even though that the Confederacy has been active this winter so far, sometimes they kind of tail off a little bit toward the end. At any rate, I'm going to go ahead and furlough this unit. Let's just see how long they're gone. And let's see how big they are when they come back. 49 days, oh my goodness. So, what is that? Oh, well, it's about a month and a half, so that'll put them back in probably 3rd week of January. One other thing, and I did, I forgot where I tested it, but I did read that pre-artillery reform, where the largest battery that one can have is 6 guns. I've read that, or I had read, that you can take 2 6-gun batteries, pre-artillery reform, combine them together, and you can have a 12-gun artillery battery that way. It does work, and I did it off camera, actually a little while back. Is this the guy? Yeah, this is the guy. Yeah, this battalion, this is a 9-gun battalion because or battery, still called a battery. It's got 9 guns because I combined 2 just to see if that was true, and it is. However, I don't think that's a good idea, because the max size of this unit is still seen as in the game as 6 guns and 90 men. And that means that whatever casualties and whatever attrition this battery undergoes just isn't going to be replaced. Casualties and attritions will grind this thing back down to 6 guns. So I think that's kind of a short-term gain, long-term not very efficient thing to do. So I'm not going to do that. I just did it this one time to see if it worked. And oh, by the way, the same is true of these little bitty cavalry units. You can combine 2 of them and get a 1,000-man cavalry unit that then wastes away back down to 500. Oops, December 1st. Let's see what the new Econ and Intel tell us. Okay. Rating remains excellent. AA. Debt unchanged. 140 million national debt. Economy is in recovery, below average and increasing. Good. Tax revenues increased. Didn't build any buildings last month. Seems like the 2 hospitals I built should have been reflected here, because I think they completed during November. That could be a casualty of, save and reload, perhaps. 225 million exports, 532 million imports. About a 2-to-1 ratio, but both increasing. Food, iron, and coffee. Coffee's just the way it is. I mean, you import what you can. Can't grow it. Probably need to do something about food at some point. Intel. Okay, they're pursuing military too. And the government is in a crisis as the nation's recruitment base has deteriorated. Yeah, I think that is the AI has got in random mode. When you play the game on random, there are 8, I think it's 8, might be 9, 8 or 9 different AI personalities that are randomly selected, and that determines a lot of the AI's behavior. And not to go off on a tangent, but one reads on Steam a lot of posts about CSA mounting amphibious attacks and going up and taking New York and running up into, toward the Great Lakes and going to Cleveland, things like that. I don't think that's tied to aggressiveness. I think that is tied to some of the AI personalities when playing on random. In addition to those personalities, which govern AI behavior, there's also 2 separate crisis behavior sets. One is for financial and one is for manpower. And so I believe that the CSA has entered into that manpower crisis mode. What exactly that makes the AI do, I don't know. I couldn't glean that out of the campaign prefs. It's just a bunch of numbers. They have done 2 levels of recruitment. Well, I guess that's what the AI does. It goes for recruitment projects ad nauseum when it goes into that mode. That makes perfect sense. Okay, still 30% on the relations. They've only recruited 850 men. That makes sense because they don't have many men to recruit. They did form another army, though. Army of Tennessee. 8 new ships. Yet, despite their manpower problem, they're still carrying out offensive operations, apparently. Well, come on back, Johnny Reb. Kind of surprised this siege isn't over by now. We're at 86-14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 brigades routed in Early's command, whereas it doesn't look like any of our guys have fallen below confident. So Patterson's just doing a bang-up job there. He's also taking fewer casualties than Early is. I see no reason to upset that particular apple cart. Into December we go. Yeah, if we didn't have this scouting ship sitting here, I don't think we would see the Army of the Northwest. And we might not have vision on the Hampton Division either. I wonder how close we are to our frigates now getting completed. 80%. 38 days remaining. On track. That'll be just after Christmas, like first week of January. How are we doing on Army or Corps level perks here? Patterson hasn't made too much progress on his second perk. McDowell's got a perk. Ambulance Corps. How about, where is he? Well? Nope, not yet. There's the Army of Tennessee, out here by Knoxville. How many men? 1,200. 4,500 projected. Grant's getting close on his perk. Still working on the supply depot. And there's the Missouri State Guard, which is up to still maintaining about the same, 4,000 men. That's what I was interested to see, if they had gained any more troops. And Lion is real close. Real close. Matter of fact, just a little bit more marching around will probably get it for him. I'm just going to march him short distances back and forth. Because just merely moving on the campaign map will earn some perk. There he goes, right there. Okay, you can stop. That's all I wanted. Ambulance Corps. I haven't done anything with these cavalry units because they're so small. And I felt like the few little cav units we had in the armies already was enough for the scouting only role. So that's why I've been letting them stay at the recruitment depot. However, it occurs to me that for jobs like the thing I just did with Lion, or going around and just keeping tabs on where the rebel armies are, these guys can do that. If they ever get engaged, we can just withdraw them. They're cav, they'll be able to do that. So how about let's create a couple little cav corps. I mean, they won't stay cav corps, but just a scouting force on the campaign map. That's probably a pretty obvious thing to do, but I didn't do it. So now I'm doing it. Fremont? He does have 2 stars in cunning. My understanding is that that cunning helps with scouting and intel. So that, you know, Fremont in charge of a couple cav brigades, that's probably not too terribly dangerous. Yeah, let's just give him a couple cav brigades here. Somehow I had an engineer. I'm sure I've got a better cav guy than that. I don't think there's really a need to give him a division commander. Actually, yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. It gives another officer in the chain of command through which stats can improve in the brigade commanders. Let's do that. Maybe not Schleich, though. Let's find a nice cav guy here. Let's sort them by cunning. See what we come up with. Washington Elliott, James Carlton, Eli Long. Sure. Let's do Carlton. Let's put okay. Eugene Carr, already a cav guy. Okay. Maybe not. How about Eli Long? The West Scouting Force. And yeah, they're in green readiness. Come on down to And let's just go ahead and put you in scout mode now, right? Let's get those horses on the railroad cars and come on down. I think we can do that in the east too. Military 2 enacted. Great. Policies. Could go diplomacy. I could go breadbasket. Feeling fine on the economy at the moment. I'm going to take Militia Act 4. Shouldn't take that. We have 41 days. And so I think we have to let time advance a little bit. Now let's check it. I thought I was already at 12.5 million on military subsidies. Maybe it has to run longer. In any case, okay, that's the siege. Early, finally retreating. 840 more soldiers going to our overcrowded prison camp. What is this? Oh, that's the results. There goes the army of Shenandoah. The Shenandoah. Somebody's on a train somewhere. Oh, here comes the Hampton Division. Are they going to come up and do the same thing? That would be ridiculous. Come on, bro. You don't want to do that. Didn't Jeff Davis tell you that y'all got manpower problems? And you want to take your 5,000 men and... no. Maybe he changed his mind. Right. Let's do the same thing here. I don't know about banks. No, I don't think so. Who's got some nice cutting here? We could go with the notion of Winfield Scott running around with a cavalry force. Scouting is pretty cool. Maybe I'll go with this. I should actually find him a corps or an army somewhere. Morgan seems all right. He may lose a little bit of stats because he's a political officer and he'll get bumped up, promoted. But I think he'll get him back. Sure, Morgan, and we'll give him a division commanders. Same thing. He's trying to give me Schleich again. No, thank you. Irving Gregg. I don't know. Washington Elliott. Sure. Come on down. Somehow I talked myself into Burnside commanding Cav earlier. I just couldn't resist because these guys are armed with Burnside carbines. That's all I had for them. And this will be the East Scouting Force. And again, they're at yellow readiness. We'll let them come up to green. Well, there's no reason why they can't come down into Virginia. Well, no, let's send them to Winchester. Let's do that. Put them in scout mode. Come here. You can take the railroad if you like, sir. Okay, good. Like, for example, we can send them down to go, hey, who's building the supply depot? You can come down here and find out. And now the Hampton Division wants to come up here and, really? That doesn't seem very smart. How are we doing on projects? Ooh, we got a lot here. I'm reading down through the list here. Nothing is completely jumping out at me. Yes, it is, and I'm going to do it. Artillery reform, please. Thank you. And now some of our artillery batteries will start plussing up in size. As a matter of fact, I'm going to... How's our manpower pool looking? It's looking pretty good. Let's recruit some more artillery. I'll do that off camera and I'll be right back. Alright then. So I recruited quite a few more full-size artillery battalions in the departments. I don't know if it actually calls them battalions. Yeah, it's still calling them batteries. But anyway, these are 16 gun units. They still just have the field guns. A lot of these may fold into our existing battalions, right? Kind of, yeah. I'm gonna make some magic parrots. Hey, I'm just playing the game as it is, man. While I was doing that, though, I remembered there was a comment on a recent episode. Someone would like to see the Iron Brigade, and so I have accommodated. I have recruited a brigade here. It is a full-size brigade. It is under the command of John Gibbon. It is named the Iron Brigade. It is from Wisconsin, and I think this is about the closest uniform choice with the cover there. Sorry, just Springfield muskets for now. However, I think our Springfield rifle muskets are just around the corner. So, not only the Iron Brigade, but lots of other brigades are going to have better weapons soon. Let's see how close they are. 2 days, yes. And we're also less than 2 months away from our rifled artillery. So things are looking up. Oh, and I noticed one other thing. A message floated on past here. I've never seen this before, because I guess I was always too spendthrift in previous campaigns. Union buys back bonds. Our financial condition was good that we actually paid down the debt a little bit. That's cool. That's a new experience for me. So what that should do is drive down our interest rate and drive up our credit rating, which it has, AA+. Interest rate. Well, interest costs, yet somehow our interest costs are going up. I guess that makes sense. Even if it's a lower interest rate. Yeah, our interest rate's doing very, very well, but the size of the debt is probably bigger, I guess. National debt. Nope, theirs is higher. Okay, riddle me this, Batman. If our national debt is staying pretty steady across, we had one blip up and then one blip down. And the interest rate, and the interest rate has been dropping, then why are our interest costs? Oh, because it's a reverse. Right, these are negative, so this looks backwards. So this is an improving trend. Okay, that makes sense. Those negative graphs like that throw me for a loop when I first look at them. Here comes our Cav down into the Shenandoah Valley in the middle of some terrible, terrible weather. We'll just, yeah. If they didn't like that, they're at red readiness. They want to hang out and sit for a while. I don't blame them. What is this here? You gotta be kidding me. The Hampton Division is besieging the Shenandoah Army. And it's vastly in our favor. You think? Come on, AI. You can do better than that. Okay. These Cav have arrived. They've got... I think we had vision on the Army of Mississippi anyway. Okay, we're doing the Medal of Honor. Aha! Ha 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 ha. 50,000 Springfield rifle muskets accomplished. Well, guess what? First things first, before I forget. Where are they? A 50,000 rifle order, and that only increased our standardization to 5. I was expecting it to be well above 10. That sucks. Well, okay, so that last order, which was the first one that I put in right, like on the first day of the campaign, that took 160 some odd days. So let's see what 50,000 comes in 90 days now. The delivery time has been cut almost in half. Yeah. I'll order some more of those, please. Thank you. And then we should see a similar effect, hopefully. I mean, that was a huge savings in delivery time for 5 standardization, I think. The rifled artillery is 50 days out. So that's going to be about mid-February. On track. I'm kind of interested in who's sitting over here, so I'm going to send the Cav to go have a little looky-look. I don't know why he needs to go off in the woods. Hopefully he can come this way and not aggro Army of Mississippi. Don't need the train anymore. It's in scouting mode, off you go. See who's here. Things remain quiet in Missouri. So Lion's getting the benefit of the hospital now, as desired, as intended. Yeah, there it is. I don't think the hospital helps with sickness, though. I think it only helps with battle casualties. Well, he may fight a battle somewhat soon. Oh, Missouri State Guard is coming up in strength now. That bears watching. That bears watching. How's our supply depot doing? Okay. Getting there with the supply depot. Isaac Stevens. Pretty soon he'll be able to start besieging these forts again. How many days are left on this? 12 days. So that'll be 23rd, just after New Year's. Getting close to forming our frigate fleet too. And their first test case is going to be Fort Norfolk. Let's have a look at these projects here. Let's sort by subsidy type. What is each level of this project further increases industrial productivity. And then each level of this project increases transport capacity of all the nation's IIPs. Let's take some infrastructure reform. Do I want that or do I... Well, I want both. I was thinking of kind of alternating between the two. Let's take subsidized industry, and next time we get a bag of industry money, we'll do infrastructure reform. Let's do that. Getting pretty tempted by this machine gun project, given the success that we've seen in this campaign from our Gatlings. But I kind of feel like cavalry reform, organization reform are probably the more responsible choices that I should be going for with military subsidies. How are we doing? We're actually very close to Austrian rifles. That would give us the Lorenz, which is pretty much a, broadly speaking, it's right in the same ballpark as the Springfield and the Enfield. It wouldn't really give us a new capability, but it would give us the ability to have 2 rifle orders going at once. But that's all it brings. The other weapon in this project is the Augustin, which is really kind of it's not exact, but I think a good analogy would be roughly like the European version of the reboard musket. Something like that. It's not a great weapon. Whereas if we hold out for British rifles, we would accomplish the same second standard infantry arm with the Enfield, but we'd also get that nice sniperish Whitworth and Enfield musketoons for the Cav. We don't actually have any Cav weapons unlocked. Now, our existing Cav is pretty well armed because they were so small that they have Maynards and some of them have Hall carbines. So our existing Cav is fine. However, recruiting any additional Cav, I don't have anything to give them. So that Enfield musketoon is actually fairly attractive. So by taking British rifles, I get 2 nice infantry arms and I get enough of a Cav boost here, Cav weapon boost, that I don't feel compelled to take any of the carbine projects in military subsidies. I mean, they're great weapons. I would like to have them. But there's so many projects that compete for military subsidies. Somebody arrived somewhere. Fremont. Okay, do you see an army over there? Double click, nope, that doesn't work. There is an army there. Who was that? That's the army of Georgia. I think this is the force that Robert E. Lee is commanding. I think. Are these guys chasing me? Yes. Fine. Let's run up here. What is that? What is that? The Western Army is coming toward Grant, and how many men are in this Western Army? 250. It's an artillery battalion, essentially. Now let's just have Fremont withdraw it this way. And if he happens to make contact with the Army of Mississippi, he can just withdraw. Is this the same Western Army that starts the campaign over at Fayetteville? Or, excuse me, Fort Smith? If that's so, then that initial army was stripped of troops and is no longer there. Which means the Missouri State Guard is here by itself. Right? There's nothing lurking back here out of vision to reinforce it. Haven't made up my mind yet, but that kind of sort of sets up nicely for maybe a little midwinter action in the next episode. And I think it is, I think that will do it for this episode. Kind of some winter campaign stuff going on there, some weapon stuff, some policy and project stuff. We got artillery coming on the way. Springfields have arrived. Frigates are around the corner. So not too much action going on other than this ridiculous siege. Which, yeah, I mean, come on. I almost feel like auto-resolving an assault. Just to make it go away, but I don't want to spend time on the tactical battle doing this. I'm kind of thinking Lyon may get in some little trouble. Or rather, get the Missouri State Guard, get Sterling Price into a little bit of trouble next time around. If you like what we're doing with the channel, if you like the content, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. If you're new to the channel and the series and you want to maybe see some of the other episodes in this series that you may not have seen yet, I'm linking a playlist to the series right here. At any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.